The ZenSports Rookie Esport League has started, and I have found that there is a bronze player with a very cheap deck of 6,000 card power who is currently in the top 10. Today we're going to go over some of their matches and see what we can learn from it. Hello, hola, kamusta, how are you guys doing? This is Luke with Luke Plays to Earn, helping out the small investors grind through these games and one day hopefully become a whale. And today we are having this video presented by ZenSports, who is running this tournament. They have put in $1,000 for this Rookie Esports League. If you didn't get a chance to sign up, there are more to come each week. There's a 7-week long, essentially, circuit point tournament. And so you can still sign up for the future ones and still have a chance to eventually get to the final for the $1,000 Esport Rookie League. And if you're thinking, okay, well, that's great, but even though you have made this tournament for lower level players, it's bronze level champions and monsters, and that means there's only level 3 commons, 2 rares, and epics. There are no legendary cards or summoners at all, and there's no alpha beta cards. So you might be thinking, while all those things are great, Luke, it's still possible that these people with, card decks of hundreds of thousands of power come in and they just have more cards, so it's easier for them to win. And to be honest, I was worried about that myself, and there are a couple right now. This is day 1 of 2. There's a couple of people on the leaderboard with a lot of card power. There's a lot of good decks in here, even though they're capped at bronze and low legendaries, or no legendaries, stuff like that. But there is one player right now who I'm super impressed by with a 10-2 record so far. Craw from, I think, the Philippines with the PH there. And you can see their deck, if we open it up right now, 6,800 card power is all they have in their account. I don't know if that is bought or rented, but I'll show you the strategy that they're using, and that their rental, or if they are renting, is not that expensive at all. And right now they are sitting pretty in this tournament. I even went through and checked through their matches. I was like, maybe they just got faced against other easy opponents, but this person had 200,000 card power. Another one with 275,000 card power. This person had 138,000 card power that they defeated. And another one here with 140,000 power in gold. And sometimes I saw another player that was in diamond at the time. So let's look at some of their matches. Why are they winning? And how much is this to rent on Peak Monster, the cards they're using? The first big matchup they won against a gold player was a poison and no sneak or snipe. Really, all the cards they have, you can tell they have a level 2 Kelia because they have a level 3 sea monster, but that's the only cards that are leveled up here. But they also just have a really good strat. Having this leveled up sea monster in poison is super helpful because the sea monster will heal up 3 points of damage each round. So usually that's anything that their opponent throws out plus the poison. The sea monster is going to heal up through quite a bit of that. Plus, having a cleanse here with the River Nymph cleanses the sea monster, so it doesn't actually get poison damage anymore. So it can heal up through the entire team's damage, because at first it's just going to be this Narissa with 3 damage. The sea monster is going to heal through that. The other team here, while they do have a sea monster, it is a lower level, so they're not going to get the 3 heal, and they don't have a cleanse. So anyone in their team is going to constantly take poison damage. So you see, if we can play this one out, the sea monster gets cleansed, heals up through all the damage, has the 1 shield, even gets a little nice miss there, but I don't think, honestly, even if they got a hit, it would have mattered too much here, because the sea monster is going to get taken down. Plus, having a little speed on this sea monster means that they get to attack first and kill off the other team's sea monster. So you can see, just having this level 3 sea monster was pretty dang important to winning this match. So real quickly, let's see what you could potentially rent this for. You're going to need a level 2 Kelia. Right now, Kelia is a little more expensive. Maybe when the general sale hits, there'll be more flooded on the market, so level 2 will be cheaper. Right now, it's about 4.5 DEC. We got to see a level 3 sea monster. That would be only 1.5 DEC. And then maybe you also don't own Axe Master. It was only a level 1 Axe Master. So really, in theory, you're talking about maybe 7 DEC for that rental strategy right there if you had to rent it and you don't own it. That cheap 7 DEC rental was the difference here in beating a gold level player. Of course, this gold level player has been capped at bronze, so it's not a legit, gold level deck with level 8 summoners. But still, they took down a person that has a lot of cards to their name. Now, this next matchup was a Tarsa matchup, melee only and no abilities. So this was a really weird one where it's pretty much just a 1v1 battle up in the front. This person, Stegi, I think is how to say their name, did have the War Chang to give the 1 range damage and help them. But you can see just having a level 2 Forgotten One, level 2 Tenji Striker, and a level 2 Uraeus for a little more damage, a little more health, actually gives the victory just barely as we play this one out. So you can see having a little more health there on the Forgotten One actually didn't really make a difference there. Now it's Tenji Striker up in the front. They are going to get an attack off first, and really at this point you think, oh, maybe they are actually going to lose, but the lava monster is just enough damage to overtake the War Chang, especially with the armor left over. So there you go, winning by the 1 HP. What a clutch moment. So let's look at the price on this one. Level 2 Tarsa, again, they're a little more expensive now than they were before, but I guess with the more supply that there would be cheaper ones eventually. So 4 DEC for a level 2 Tarsa. The Tenyi Striker is 1.5 DEC for a level 2. Uraeus a little more expensive at the 2.8. And the Forgotten One, admittedly, for level 2 is a bit more expensive than 9.5, but honestly, it didn't really help them there. They probably could have gone for a level 1 in this scenario. And that would be much cheaper at 0.85 DEC. So this one a little more expensive, but probably still just around 10 DEC for this rental strategy if you were trying to rent these cards. This third matchup was no healing, 46 mana, and only fire, death, or dragon could be chosen. I'm assuming that they maybe thought that their opponent was going to play Delwyn. Maybe they've seen them play a lot of magic damage. And so picking Thaddeus here instead of their leveled up Tarsa deck was pretty strong because you're nerfing the +1 magic that Delwyn would have gotten, which is really the difference here. And I'm assuming they knew the magic damage was coming because they also put in the Bone Golem to just really soak up any magic damage, and then from there, just having a level 2 Sandworm for a little more speed is going to help take out the backline. They have the 1 armor Gargoyle Devil, so essentially the Sandworm has to hit through armor before it can start attacking any of the other parts of the backline, so that's going to last at least 2 shots there. And from there, they have enough range damage and snipe and sneak. I usually say, going frontline, snipe, and sneak isn't the best idea, but they at least have 2 sneak attacks here, and the snipe is at least magic damage, so eventually they're going to shred through, although the energy has about 9 health. But you can see, pretty dang good strategy, countering magic heavily here, and you can see through this process that they can win this game pretty easily just because of this counter to the magic. They also get some misses, so having the Gargoyle Devil here for the flying in the back, again, is just so huge because the Sandworm basically gets to do no damage this entire game. And then from there, you can see they have a flawless victory. Their entire team is left standing. All right, let's go check out how much this one would have costed you to rent. Thaddeus, 1.5 DEC, so he's the cheapest level 2 summoner by far. We have a level 2 Sandworm just for the extra speed. That is super cheap, 0.26 DEC. Silent Shava at level 3 is what got the extra damage there towards the backline. That's only 0.43 DEC to rent. And yes, they had a Gargoyle Devil in the backline, but you could also just get a non-gold foil one. And just the extra speed only costed 0.5 DEC. So this strategy was super cheap, maybe about 2.5 to 3 DEC total. Then lastly here, we got this final match of Blast and Even Stevens. You can see here they have a leveled up Lorna Shine deck here, but the only leveled up card here is the Pelacor Conjurer. But again, just having a leveled up Pelacor Conjurer to absorb a little more damage is quite nice, and using Lorna Shine for a blast battle is pretty genius. I love to do that because essentially every time there's a blast damage, you're going to at least absorb 1 shot. Then having double strike here on the Arbalist is meaning that you're going to get 2 blast damage. And even though the Grunt has that as well, you can see that eventually this life deck with Lorna Shine is going to tear through this green team. Another smart strategy they have is a lot of flying champions. And in Blast, if you can dodge, essentially you're dodging 2 attacks because you're dodging the main attack and what would have been the blast damage. So having extra champions with high speed and flying is pretty smart. Plus the Time Mage means a slow, and all this speed differential means that the life deck is going to often get to go first with blast damage, meaning they're probably going to kill off the monsters before the green team can really get going. So let's see how this one plays out. You can see what I'm talking about here. They were smart to put the Magic Reflect second to Potentially counter that with the blast damage. Did a good job there. So smart job by Holy Cows. Also a great name. But you can see how much damage the life team really did. This Grund only has 1 HP before it can finally attack. And then again with the slows, they're just going to completely rip through the team before this green team can actually get anything done. So well done to Kra there. Excellent strategy. I love what you're thinking there. So again, let's look at what this costed. Really, the only thing that was leveled up was the Pellicore there in the beginning at the tank. So really, maybe you can argue you only needed a level 1 Lorna, but here they used a level 2, 2.8 on that. And then a leveled up 3 Pellicore Conjurer is 0.3 DEC. So again, probably 3 DEC total for this strategy. So hopefully you can see it's not just those that have a bigger deck, it's also those who have a bigger brain and are using the good strategies, just renting a couple cards. Probably across their team, they rented 20 DEC, as we just shown, maybe more than that for the entire tournament. We didn't get to see every single deck they had. Maybe they're spending about 30 or 40 for this tournament. Maybe they own these cards. I don't know. But what I'm trying to show you guys is that I actually legit think, even though there are people with big spendy decks, that it is possible for anyone to take this $500 first place prize in this esports league. Of course, it's going to come down to a lot of skill as well. So if you're completely new, maybe just look at this as a learning process and get better at the game. And maybe even by week 4 or 5, maybe you've learned enough to actually start winning and make it qualified for the final. It is still possible for anyone. This is just day 1. For more coverage, we'll be live on Friday for the final of week 1, the final few hours, and it's going to be pretty hype, so I hope you guys make the stream. Thank you, ZenSports, again for hosting this tournament, sponsoring it. Please go check them out in their Discord and say hello, and just give them some love for providing for us in this tournament. That's it for now. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. Peace out, pa'alam, adios.